solution for very long periods of time. Okay, so this allows you to design these kind of devices without external magnetic field. So this is very important if you want to obtain a fully integrated solution, because normally these kind of devices are bulky because they need external magnet. So this is the prototype, the fabrication, and with this solution, our footprint, comparing even with colleagues from the University of California, Santa Barbara, Professor Bauer's group. So we are able to produce a very small footprint, a device with a very small footprint. 2 orders of magnitude smaller than the best models published in the literature. And we also have developed several biosensors. This one, I should say that this is perhaps the most exciting one. So you can use this structure for sensing and also to monitor electrical cell activity. So this is something really very interesting. So this is the nano antennas array we use as the nano sensor. And with this nano sensor, we've been able to measure the electrical activity of neuronal cells from the heart of a mouse. So we have patented these results, and also we are publishing in a journal, or it's going to be published in a journal very soon. So the idea here is quite simple. So in fact, we imported an idea from telecom. So what we do to measure these electric fields is essentially an amplitude modulation. Using the plasmonic effects of these nano antennas. So if you illuminate these nano antennas resonate. If you put these nano antennas in contact with your neuronal tissue here, so these cells generate an electric field. So this electric field indeed modulates the resonance of these nano antennas. So the reflected or transmitted way is modulated by the field generated by this neuronal tissue. So this is a very interesting sensor. Then I'm going just to present some results related microwaves and terahertz, etc. So since 2000, many RF and microwave devices for the KU, X, C, L, and S and P bands have been developed. Several kinds of antennas, embedded quadriband antenna, and lots of components for radars. These are radars that we helped to develop and are in operation in the Brazilian Army right now. So, and most of these devices, filters and LNAs, amplifiers, etc., were developed especially for radar application. We also active in the development of this synthetic aperture radar. Okay, so and then I would like to take this opportunity to explain what synthetic aperture means. So with this synthetic aperture technique, what you can do is to emulate, using radars, you can emulate a very, very large antenna. So this is the name is synthetic aperture. So the aperture is related to the antenna size, okay? So, but for that, you need movement. So you need that your radar moves. So when the radar is in movement, so you launch pulses, and then, of course, you receive the refracted waves, and then you apply signal processes to integrate all this information, and then based on this information, you can emulate a very large antenna, okay? So this is what SAR means. Well, typically, the SAR systems weighs 100 kilos. So we developed this system. So, and this operates in 2 bands, P and X. Well, several years ago, we decided to miniaturize this system. So we shrinked it to a total system less than 5 kilos, so 20 times. So, and this the motherboard that which is well generated here, well developed, is this one, and the weight is 600 grams. Well, and then why? Because our objective was to use drones to transport these systems. Okay, so now that the system is so light, it's possible to use the drones like this one. Okay. Well, then this becomes a product, and this is a company. There's a spin-off company of Lemax, Overlap, and this company manufactures and commercializes this unique system. So far, we are the only ones in the world producing this kind of system. Then you can, of course, ask yourself, this is not working. Okay. Yes, okay. So, of course, our lab has the full knowledge of this technology, from the hardware to the software. All the stages of this technology, and we have published extensively about this technology in the last 5 years or so. So this is a better look of the system. So this is a motherboard with the C bands, and of course it operates in 3 bands simultaneously, P, L, and C. So the C bands are embedded here to the motherboard, and these are the P band antennas and the L band antenna. So what is new? What is the consequence of using now a drone? Well, the consequence of that is that we can explore this degree of freedom called trajectory. So we can, with the drone, we can have the trajectory we wish. So for instance, if you perform this helical flight, so you can be able to emulate a huge parabolic antenna. Yes. Well, if you are able to do that, so you are going to have also a huge gain. Okay, a huge gain means a huge resolution. So a resolution that the other systems that operate using aircraft or satellites don't have. Okay. So, and also if this allows you to, to get a very deep penetration of these beams, okay? Since the gain is very high, so you overcome the signal noise ratio, okay? And then you can perform imaging in very deep underground. So this opens a new research frontier, which is SAR, underground tomography. So in our lab is leading this research right now. Okay, so many undergoing applications. Now, for instance, flakes detections, ant nests in industrial forests in Brazil, beavers burrows in Scotland, mining, minerals detection, underground galleries, tomography, subsidence. We are working this with the Vale do Rio Doce, which is a Brazilian mining company, a giant in the world. I think it's the third or the fourth in the world. Agriculture, biomass and harvest forecast, tubers and roots monitoring, ground carbon sequestration. So we are doing this in Brazil in partnership with the German, Swedish, Finnish, Italy, etc. Hydrology, underground water streams with the Technology Institute of Innovation and the Arab Emirates. Volcanology, so we are now starting a partnership with the JPL, NASA. So they propose to use our technology perhaps for the next mission, which is going to be in Venus. So we are performing some studies in Ireland. Security, various corpses, Sao Paulo police, archaeology, ancient remains, etc. So just to give you an idea, for instance, this work in Sweden, so the Swedish University of Agricultural Science, they purchased our system. You can see the system here. And now with them, we are developing a way to measure the underground biomass. So this is something unique, the underground. So you can measure the above ground biomass. This is, several technologies can do it, but the above ground, this is the only technology now able to measure it. So for that, you need to identify the size of the roots of the trees. And once you determine this size, so you can estimate the volume occupied by these roots. And from that, you can calculate the biomass. Well, we can also provide moisture maps, like this one. This was a work carried out in partnership with FEAGRI, the Agricultural Engineering School at UNICAM, and also San Martino's group. Well, more moisture maps here. And also with Clamin. And as I mentioned, to identify these ant nests, which are huge and impact the cellulose productivity in Brazil by 14–15%. Okay, so we can identify this nest. For instance, this is a SAR image. And we use also machine learning techniques. So once we identify these nests, so using this information, we can train our machine learning algorithm and help us to identify new nests. And the polarimetric error is less than 10 meters. This is an old result, so now our error is less than 10 meters. So 10 meters is really amazing if you consider this area, which is are hundreds of hectares. But we not only identify the nest, we also provide the tomogram. So this is the volume. This is an image showing the volume occupied by this nest. So this is also something unique. Well, finally, there is this application, iron, that we recently demonstrated this in the state of Pará. So this is our system ready to fly here. And the iron is normally found in a very hard rock called jaspelite. Okay, jaspelite. And this jaspelite is really very big. And you find this jaspelite very deep. The deepness is about from 60 to 120 meters below ground. So the technique used by this company is to drill holes, or wells, and they like these ones. These are wells drilled in order to have an idea of the size of this rock. Well, so we performed this test, and with several helical flights here covering one of these areas, this area 1, okay, and then we were able to produce all the imaging underground up to over 100 meters. So what you have here are the cuts for different depths. So this is the surface, and then for etc. At 48 meters, the jaspelite was detected here. And not only that, we also showed the tomograph of that rock. So this is using the P band, but also using the L band. Well, future max millimeter waves in terahertz. So this is our lab that is under renovation, so in the final stages. So this is our VNA up to 500 gigahertz. Temporarily, it's installed at LEMAC Photonic Camp. Well, but then based on SAR signal processing and the concept of non-diffractive waves, we will develop in the next 5-10 years novel devices, solutions operating in millimeter waves and sub-terahertz frequencies applied to scanners, healthcare monitoring radars, autonomous vehicles radars, facial recognition radars, human body imaging, high-speed wireless communications. So many novel and disruptive developments are expected over the next 5-10 years. We welcome local and international collaborations at all levels. Well, thank you very much.
Bom, muito obrigado, professor Hugo. Excelente palestra aí para o pessoal. Agora a gente vai ter uma apresentação do Arno Petai, que é um engenheiro da Anritsu, né? Ele está online com a gente, vai apresentar lá da Califórnia. Ele vai apresentar alguns equipamentos de ponta para que a gente faça uma introdução para a palestra do professor Mark, que tem muitos assuntos interessantes ali, muita pesquisa envolvida. Vocês têm perguntas ao professor Hugo? Por favor, façam só um instante, professor.
Boa tarde, professor. Eu fiz a disciplina do senhor de SAR, trabalho muito com o professor Michel, também Michel Zamboni. Eu queria saber se vocês têm planos de juntar essas duas áreas de ondas não difrativas, de SAR, radar e tudo mais.
Bom, a pergunta foi feita em português, não é em português. Né? Sim. Essas ondas não difrativas, né, a onda mais simples é o feixe de Bessel.